Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Tyler Thaden here to bring you your Tuesday edition of FSU weather. Right now, not a great look at Doak at the moment. It's very rainy here in Tallahassee. Currently 67 degrees with some pretty gusty winds right now coming out of the east-southeast at 13 miles per hour. So not the best day to be outside today, but at least temperatures are looking all right, not too hot because those rain and clouds are keeping things pretty cool. Everybody around that mid to high 60s mark, keeping things not too hot, but again, not a great day to go outside. Dew points are actually very close to those current temperatures because of that rain and clouds. So we actually can see those turn into some fog tomorrow. But looking at our current radar, we can see those storms still persisting throughout the area, moving across the panhandle at the moment. And so talking about the show today, we're going to be talking more about that rainy day in Tallahassee. We're also going to be traveling to Indiana Dunes National Park and talking about Women's History Month. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Thank you, Tyler, and that's right. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Aaron Saray.
And I'm student meteorologist Summer Trolley.
And we're here to open up an amazing show today. If you've been outside, of course, it's been raining all day today. I had to bring my umbrella to class because it's been raining all day.
Yeah, absolutely. I was studying here this morning, but even when I was up at 7:30 this morning, I had my rain jacket on my way to class, just, trying to stay dry as much as I could. It was very rainy here in Tallahassee today.
That's right, but luckily there is a light at the end of the tunnel as we do see the kind of the showers in the front move out of the way, making way for a really fantastic day, or days, I should say, later on this week as we get into your spring break. But Heather, tell us a little bit more about the current conditions outside.
As y'all were saying, we had a soggy start to this Tuesday, but things started off really rainy, and it's still continuing right now. There are cloudy skies looking over Doak Campbell Stadium, still some spotty showers here and there, and that will continue throughout the evening today. Currently, temperature is at 67 degrees and a slight breeze at 13 miles an hour with some heavier gusts here and there, so just something to keep an eye on. But looking at the current radar, we're going to see some heavier rainfall continuing around the coast associated with these yellow and orange colors coming in off the coast. And we're going to see some scattered showers continuing in Tallahassee, maybe some thunderstorms here and there overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So that is just something to keep an eye on here. Current temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s across the board, 67 here in Tallahassee, cooling off a bit, 64 in Thomasville, and 67 in Apalachicola. But overall, mid 60s across the board. Kind of muggy conditions though, but looking at the temperature almanac, our high was right around the average for today at 69. And you see a very small temperature range with our high at 69, our low at 64. That's because there was a lot of cloud cover today, lots of showers throughout the day, not a lot of sun coming out, so you're not going to see as big of a range as temperatures like you saw at the average for this time of year. Current dew points are right around where our actual temperature is at, so that's why things are very muggy, very sticky, very wet outside. 65 in Tallahassee when our actual temperature is at 67, so very moist conditions here in the Panhandle. For the future satellite, we're going to see some showers and thunderstorms continuing in Tallahassee throughout tonight and into tomorrow with some scattered cloud cover, but eventually things will start to clear up and we're going to see that sun starting to peek back out later on into the afternoon. Tonight we're going to be having some showers and scattered thunderstorms possible, low of 62 degrees and a slight breeze. So if you're going to be out and about here in Tallahassee, definitely make sure to have an umbrella with you. And tonight, the low temperature across the board are going to be in the low 60s, hovering around 62, 63 here in Tallahassee, slightly warmer near the coast, where you normally see less of a temperature range there. But tomorrow, things are going to start to warm up once that sun comes out later in the afternoon, with our high looking to be around 80 degrees and a slight breeze, so things are going to be very comfortable later on. But for the week ahead, The sun will finally start to come out for the second half of this week, but some showers and thunderstorms definitely on Saturday, so something to keep an eye on, leading to some cooler temperatures later at the start of this week. But Summer, what are things looking like in the rest of Florida?
That's right. We're going to look at these beautiful cities that are kind of beautiful right now, but that rain is really causing some trouble here for Florida. Orlando, you should see some clouds in the sky, and really all over Miami, South Florida, and up into the Panhandle and Panama City. Same story with those clouds that are really just causing some trouble with the rain here in Florida. Tallahassee, 66 degrees and raining, and really across the entire peninsula, you can see temperatures are fairly high down in South Florida, and really they're comfortable up near us in North Florida. But that rain is really throughout the entire state today. Miami, tomorrow, they're going to be seeing the rain as well as that system is making its way across into the ocean. 80 degrees and 80% chance of rain as well, and they'll be seeing some sun by Friday, hopefully. Same story here for Tampa. They'll be seeing showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, 76 degrees, and as they approach the weekend and spring break, as people are traveling down to Tampa and Orlando area, they will be seeing some warmer temperatures there, 79 degrees. In Orlando on Wednesday with some thunderstorms and showers possible as well. And Jacksonville tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day, 79 degrees, partly cloudy. And as we roll into Friday, I know I'll be driving to Jacksonville to get to the airport. I will have a nice drive on Friday, 76 degrees as well, maybe even the windows down on the way there. Pensacola, 78 degrees on Wednesday, and as we approach Friday, they will be seeing an increase of showers as that next system is going to be making its way through. So we can see this system right here that's sitting in Tallahassee right now and really pushing throughout all of Florida, and that'll be bringing the rain down to South Florida tomorrow. Right now, South Florida is not seeing much in the way of rain, but they do have an increase in clouds right now as that system's sitting just to their west. And the clouds are really rolling in for Central Florida as well with some pop-up showers here in the Tampa area that are really moving towards more central Florida. And Tallahassee, really, we can see here a lot of rain that we saw today, and that's continuing into tonight. Same story down near like Apalachicola and down near Panama City as well. They are seeing increase in rain, and they may even be seeing some thunderstorms associated with that as well. So we roll into the weekend. Through tomorrow, increase in cloud cover. That storm system is going to be making its way off. It'll be off out of our way by Thursday. So there will be potential for some showers for most of the state tomorrow, but really South Florida is going to be the big picture in terms of rain tomorrow. And tonight as well, they'll be seeing some rain down in the Keys, 73 degrees with thunderstorms really throughout all of here in Florida. We're going to be seeing a lot of clouds as we roll into tonight and into tomorrow. The clouds are going to be rolling along just with us. And tomorrow, we're going to be nice and sunny here in Tallahassee with some rain down in South Florida. But Aaron, has this stationary front been causing any troubles for our neighbors in the southeast region?
That's right. Well, I mean, that stationary boundary, of course, brought us the rain today, and will continue to bring us some of the rain tonight and into tomorrow. Luckily, that does move out of the way over the next several days or so. But quite a tale here across the southeast with Nashville and New Orleans. A little bit of sun peeking out here, especially in Nashville, where they are sitting in the 60s right now. 61 Nashville, in the 68 in New Orleans. And if you are in Charlotte right now, you are also in the 60s. In Tampa is the oddball here at 82 degrees under the cloudy conditions there. Now, here's the overall general setup across the southeast. We have that front that's kind of stalled, but I guess we'll be starting to move here shortly out of the way as a cold front over the next several days or so. But we have this kind of broad area of low pressure here, bringing that rain shield, of course, along with it. Ahead of it here across Tallahassee near the Gulf of Mexico. This may actually produce a little bit of some stronger storms here as we get into the next couple hours or so, as we get into the west coast of Florida here over the next several hours. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, all the way down to about Fort Myers. Might need to watch off to your west tonight as we might see actually a couple of lights out in the horizon in the Gulf of Mexico as this line eventually moves out into west central Florida. But elsewhere to the north here, we have generally scattered showers across Alabama, Georgia, and into Tennessee here, where we have, again, more scattered activity, more isolated activity, not as much widespread as you get down towards Florida. Now, current temperatures across the region here, we have those 60s and 70s predominantly across the southeast. However, we're starting to sneak in some 80s now. We're approaching springtime, and that means warming up here. So 82 in Shreveport, 76 in Little Rock, and also 79 in Tampa. So definitely warming up for this time of year. We expect that definitely this time of year. And again, Temperatures are a little bit cooler as you make your way off to the Carolinas. Now, for the rest of the southeast in terms of the wind here, we have generally southeasterly flow around the high out in the Atlantic. What that's going to allow us to do is bring in some of that moisture, some of that heat back into our forecast here. And that's what we'll see, at least for the next couple of days or so, especially as we get into spring break. But a little bit of a cool down ahead of that, or I should say, before spring break, as we have that cold front come through. And then eventually we'll heat things back up. So here is that system that's going to spin out of here through the Carolinas, bringing that kind of slightly cooler air. I say slightly, of course, because it's still going to be like in the 70s, but relatively cooler until we get another heat up as we get into your Friday. As you're starting to travel out of town here into your spring break, you might need to contend with a few at least warmer temperatures and a couple of scattered showers as well. Our MugaCast does show the humidity still relatively in place here across the southeast. Might have a little bit of a break as we get into your Thursday into Friday. Might have a few 50s, which means a little bit drier air. It won't feel as muggy outside as you step outside the door here before you're traveling, at least traveling to your spring break destination. Now, if you're going to New Orleans for spring break, actually it should look fairly pleasant. Might need to watch for a couple of thunderstorms on Friday until we begin to a slight cool down to 74 degrees on Saturday. So, I mean, not much of a cool down, but definitely something, right? Anything we can take this time of year. But Tyler, tell us a little bit about Indiana Dunes.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for that, Aaron. We're going to be getting into our special Tuesday segment with our national park, and today we're going to be talking about Indiana Dunes National Park. Now, this national park is one of the newest national parks. It was actually elevated from a national lakeshore to a national park as early as 2019, and it includes approximately 25 miles of the Lake Michigan shoreline. It's also one of the most biologically diverse national parks, as it has over 1,100 species of flowering plants and ferns. But as we take a look at the weather in the park today, we can see pretty close to average as far as our highs go, only 1 degree above that at 43, but the low is definitely a lot higher than average, sitting at 39. Very low temperature range throughout the day today, and that can be attributed to the very cloudy conditions that they have been experiencing today at the park. Currently 41 degrees there, and the sun is not being able to shine through with those clouds. Wind at a nice 8 miles per hour coming out of the north. And as we look kind of at the entire shoreline of that 25 miles across Lake Michigan, we can see everybody pretty much uniform around that 41 degree temperature, some on either side of that 40, a little closer to the actual coastline there. And our dew points are also very close to the temperatures that they're experiencing at the moment, and that can be attributed to those very cloudy conditions that they are experiencing at the moment. It's probably very muggy out there. Might not be the best day to get out and see the park, but at least there was no rain with those clouds. You can see, at least at the moment, just some clouds, no showers associated with that. And as we look at the future, we can see those clouds persist for quite a while until about Wednesday morning around 8 a.m. We can see them start to move and clear out, and that'll make things nice and pretty with the sky if you want to get out there and see the park if you're in the area. Tomorrow would be a great day to do it. But a 4-day forecast right now, you can see Wednesday and Thursday would probably be your best days to get out and see the park. If you are in the area, you can see only 10% chance on Wednesday and Thursday. But as we head into the weekend on Friday, 90% chance, and that's going to continue to be an issue heading into Saturday as well. Slightly lower chance at 70%, but still definitely going to be rainy out there. But now let's switch things up, head over to the desk with Summer and Heather to get in the spirit of Women's History Month, talking about some women in weather.
Yes, thank you, Tyler. We are in the spirit of Women's History Month, and we will be talking about women in weather here today. We have two very important women that really contributed to our field, meteorology, that we will be going through in just a couple minutes here. I'm really excited for this segment. It's pretty interesting.
Absolutely. It's really awesome to see so many women paving the way for future generations coming into this field.
Yes, absolutely. And right here on the screen we have Joanne Simpson, who's the first woman to get a PhD in meteorology.
And her research paved the way for what we know now. She led early cloud seeding experiments that laid the foundation for NASA's current rainfall satellite program.
That's right, and she was also quoted to say that her greatest career accomplishment was working in the NASA satellite mission called the Tropical Rainfall Measurement Mission. Sounds pretty interesting to me.
Absolutely. And another wonderful woman in this field, her name is June Bacon Bursey, and she was the first African-American woman meteorologist.
That's right, and she was actually the first African-American woman TV meteorologist in the United States.
paving the way not only for women and for people of color. She was also the first African American woman to earn the American Meteorological Society seal of approval.
That's right. She actually also worked in the private sector, the National Weather Service, and for NOAA. She has a lot under her resume there.
Absolutely. Not only that, but she also helped to establish the American Meteorological Society Board on Women and Minorities.
That's right. She definitely did a lot. Both of these women, we really appreciate what they did because they bring us to where we are today with this field growing in terms of all the women in our field and even just our classes in general.
Absolutely. It's so encouraging to see so many brilliant women coming into this field every year and being able to learn from them so much.
That's right. Yeah. It's a very exciting thing to talk about, and fortunately, we ran out of time to talk about it. But we're going to switch things up and experience what's going on in the nation right now with Aaron.
That's right. We do have quite a bit of weather to talk about here across the country, but just kind of giving you a split screen of what's actually going on here. You can see right behind my shoulder here, Roach Harbor, Washington, 43 degrees under mostly clear skies. Boston, Massachusetts, where the sun is already set there, 41. Also in the 40s here are our friends in Detroit, and then also going back to Colorado, also sitting in the 40s. So definitely a lot of 40s here across the country. So current temperatures across much of the nation here, we have 80s there, 88 in San Antonio. So definitely very warm there, approaching 90 degrees there across the southern United States. So definitely want to keep that in mind too if you're traveling to Texas. And then out towards the east here, we're a little bit on the cooler side here in 60s with a cool, chill 67 degrees in Tallahassee with the rain kind of shielding the sun away from us, warming up actually those temperatures. And then across much of the eastern seaboard also staying on the sort of milder side for this time of year. And then also if we go out towards the Intermountain West and over to towards California, the West Coast, also staying pretty mild typical temperatures for this time of year. Now our current dew points are on the muggier side of things here. So if you go off towards much of the southeast and into even the Midwest as well, you could even see some dew point temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Even Miami approaching 70, which is near summer-like dew points. So definitely the air you can wear here. Very muggy across the southeastern United States. Now for our current satellite and radar here, we do have that rain across much of the southeast, which is associated with this disturbance across Mississippi and into Louisiana. This will eventually clear out of the way as we get into the next several days or so. But behind it, we have those drying conditions and that sunny, clear weather, which is why San Antonio got to 88 degrees today, because you're just underneath the relentless sun here. And looks like that might be coming out of direction. Not as hot, but certainly the clear conditions come in this direction. Now, for our rainfall forecast, we expect the rain to continue across Tallahassee and eventually make its way out here. We could expect anywhere about up to 1.5 inches or so of rain across Tallahassee and much of Florida. It's not until you go over towards Boston and up into New England where you might see perhaps some higher amounts and near 3 inches of rain or so out near Boston into the Canadian Maritimes. And then for the rest of the country here, so we're still staying pretty on the drier side here, especially as you make your way towards El Paso, Texas, western Texas, up towards through the Central Plains, might be on the not rainy side, I should say. And as for your spring break temperature outlook here for the next 6 to 10 days, we expect warmer than average temperatures across the vast majority of the nation here. We actually might be on this more normal side of things, which is kind of hard to think about here in Florida, right? We're always either too really cold or really warm. But we are expecting those normal conditions here across Tallahassee, or a good chance of that. And then as we get into much of the Midwest, we expect those conditions to be above average. Now, for tomorrow's temperatures across much of the country here, we expect those temperatures to actually warm up a little bit here across Tallahassee. We're actually supposed to make it to 80 degrees. So not a big fan of 80 degrees here, but Heather, how about you?
Zooming in and taking a closer look at the southwestern region of the United States, we are currently looking at a bit of a drought in these regions. There are lower dew points and everything leading to cooler temperatures and drier conditions. So as you move northward, you'll see that temperatures will continue to drop, which is to be expected as you move further north. But we're looking right here, 72 in El Paso, 73 in Tucson, 49 in Flagstaff, so that is quite a big jump within one state. Current dew points, as I said, very low, indicating very, very dry conditions for this region, which is to be expected with a big drought in this area. So these very low values and these brown colors are indicating very, very dry conditions for this region. The current radar, we're not seeing pretty much any precipitation. Some spotty showers here and there in Colorado, but nothing much in the way of heavy precipitation that will put a change to this drought. Future radar, we're going to see some scattered clouds across the region, but again, not much in terms of precipitation. If you look over towards California, you're going to see some showers coming into the area, and those will start to push further inland into this region. So these areas will be getting some rainfall, but again, not much in terms of heavy precipitation. But over the next couple days and the remainder of the week, we're going to see these areas getting some rainfall. And some tips to keep in mind during a drought: be sure to conserve water and practice fire prevention and follow directions from your local officials. But now I'm going to hand things off to Summer.
Yes, thank you. And those are very important tips for drought, as that can be quite dangerous at many times of the year. But we're switching it up, and we're going to come a little bit more locally and talk about the lifestyle. So right now, if people are playing intramural sports, it's not the best time to be playing. It's probably drizzling about right now, but clouds for sure. And the same story here at Panama City. It's not as bad, not as cloudy, but still cloudy there as well. In Lake Bradford, the Res, and St. George Island, we're all seeing clouds there. But in terms of delays for the Tallahassee International Airport, we have a green plane, which means there are none right now, which is a very great sign, as that rain is just nice and light right now, or really not occurring at all, depending what part of Tallahassee you're in. So there are some delays across the board, mostly in New York at JFK Airport. That is red, meaning that there are going to be a lot of delays, so make sure you're checking in with your airline, as that's very important. You wouldn't want to get to the airport and have to wait there for 8 hours if your flight's delayed. That would be a shame. But anyways, we're getting back into this with the pollen. So the pollen is quite high today. So if you have allergies, make sure you're taking your medicine, and just be vigilant. Carry a pack of tissues with you. The highest allergy we have today is trees, which is just could be a pain. So be sure to have your tissues, as you may be sneezing a lot. If you're going to be taking a little pup like this one on a walk, tomorrow morning, 63 degrees. So it's going to be cloudy and a little cooler, so the pavement may be nice for their paws. But if you prefer the sun, maybe a little closer to 11, the sun will be coming out at 72 degrees. So it'll be a nice time to take your dog for a walk. 64 degrees and cloudy in Pittsburgh for the men's basketball game at 9 p.m. tonight. And as we roll into tomorrow, 78 degrees here in Dick Howser Stadium at FSU. The baseball team will be playing FGCU at 4 p.m. So if you have the opportunity, I suggest getting out and catching that game. I believe our baseball team is doing pretty well this season. Women's basketball, switching it up, 68 degrees, partly cloudy. They'll be playing in North Carolina. So the game will also be inside, just like the men's basketball game. But as you're walking to the car, walking to the stadium, you may need a jacket if 68 degrees is a little cold to you. And switching up to the beach cam, as you can see, not the best day for the beach. Unless you like clouds and rain, then it is a great day for the beach. 67 degrees, mostly sunny, but mostly. There's a lot of clouds there and some slight winds out of the south at 6 miles per hour. The morning beach forecast, it's going to be a little nicer. The very morning cloudy, but as we roll further into the day, those clouds are going to be clearing out, 70 degrees, maybe turning into a great beach day. So if you have time in the afternoon to get to the beach, that's a great idea. Today, 66 degrees, thunder showers, and through the weekday, we're going to be seeing the sun a little bit tomorrow and into the week. But we have another system we are tracking. Aaron, can you tell me a little bit more about the system locally here in Tallahassee?
That's right. We love Tallahassee, so we'll continue talking about the city of Tallahassee here, the best city in the world here. Now, 67 degrees with a bunch of rain across the board here. That's the reason why, is because we have that system that's out in the Gulf. It's going to bring us some of that more rain, or at least over the next several hours or so, until it clears out eventually by tomorrow into the next day here. But again, some rain, might see some peekaboo sunshine from time to time, but overall should clear out by tomorrow. And again, radar is a lot of rain on radar here. Our current temperatures across much of the region here, we are pretty much sitting really 66 to 68, so not a very much of a temperature contrast across the area here. 64 degrees in Thomasville, so a little bit of a temperature contrast here. But overall, still sitting in the mid to upper 60s across this timer now. Now, for our dew points, we're also sitting in the middle 60s as well, which helps to kind of indicate that you might actually if you step outside, you actually might indicate a little bit more on the muggy side in terms of how the weather, or in terms of how the air actually feels outside, because we have more water in the atmosphere. It's going to make it feel more humid out the door right now. And those temperatures, or I should say the rainfall should eventually move out of the area. We should start seeing some peekaboo sunshine through tomorrow. Eventually the clouds will clear out and we'll have the sunshine coming more regularly as we get through your day tomorrow, especially towards sunset at around 6 o'clock tomorrow. Tonight, though, we still have to go through another night of showers here. Thunder shower to 62 degrees under winds at southeast at 5 miles an hour. Generally speaking, across much of the area, we're pretty much going to be sitting in about the low to mid 60s across the board here. So not very much in the way of cool down here. Tomorrow, if we head up to Landis Green, should be actually fairly pleasant, but if we don't need that jacket by the afternoon, we're going to go up to 80 degrees here. AM clouds and PM sun here out of the winds out of the west, northwest at 9. Now, tomorrow's forecast across the rest of the region, we might actually have a little bit of a cooling effect here on the waters. We have that west-northwest wind off the water here, so actually might see it on a little bit on the cooler side if you're in Taylor County or Dixie County. And for the rest of the week ahead here, we expect those temperatures to stay up in the 80s here until a slight cool down on Saturday after behind and front, and then perhaps a slight warm as we get into your day on Tuesday, where we'll get up to 75 degrees by the middle of next week of spring break. Of course, if you're staying here locally, you'll experience that with those temperatures dipping down into the 40s here as well for our nighttime lows on Monday and into Tuesday here. But again, you'll have to deal with that rainfall on Saturday, so make sure you still keep that umbrella on tap here, as it could be very useful to kind of make sure you don't stay dry here into your spring break. You don't want to have a damper, right, as you make your way out of Tallahassee or here in Tallahassee, depending on what you are doing here. But again, we'll pass things over to close out the show with Tyler and Heather.
Yeah, thank you for that, Aaron. We've had a pretty interesting show for you guys today, and that main story really has just been all that rain. It hasn't been a great day in Tallahassee, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I got absolutely drenched on my way to class today, so definitely make sure you're bringing an umbrella if you're going to be out and about over the next couple of hours.
Yeah, that's right. I had to bring mine to class today for sure, and it was not fun getting back and forth. Hopefully, we won't have too many issues with that rain tomorrow. I know in the morning hours of Wednesday we may have few issues, but hopefully it'll clear up and won't have any commute problems. But we also touched on a lot of other things. We got that National Park segment for Tuesday, Indiana Dunes. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It was some interesting weather over there too. Luckily they didn't have any rain, but make sure to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather.
And on Facebook at www.facebook.com/FSU weather.
And watch us live on YouTube like you are right now at youtube.com/FSU weather.
And follow us on Instagram at FSU weather.
Yeah, and make sure to follow us on TikTok as well. We post some videos on there. But thanks for watching the show, and here's one last look at that 7-day.